the Super Eagles of Nigeria will still be under the control of the big boss, Stephen Keshi. The Nigeria Football Federation, they said, this is the man we know, and they'll be talking. Negotiations are already finalized for the big boss to return. What are you talking about? Do you believe it's a right or wrong decision by the Nigeria Football Federation? We want you to talk to us this morning on the program. On Twitter, it's channels_sports, and on Facebook, or channels-sports. Wrong or right decision to bring back Coach Stephen Keshi? That's the question we're asking you this morning. Let's leave Coach Stephen Keshi and the Super Eagles and talk about the ladies. Yes, it's our business. The Super Falcons were waiting to hear from the National Sports Commission and the Nigerian Football Federation as regards their preparations for the FIFA Women's World Cup that will take place in Canada. It's just 113 more days. Sweden has been preparing. The United States of America, they've been preparing. Australia, since October, they've been getting ready, and that's because they respect Nigeria. But the Super Falcons, nothing. We've not been hearing anything. Chuka, unfortunately, I've been asking everyone that comes on the program, and you won't be an exception. What's going on? Why are the Super Falcons not getting ready for this tournament?
Like we just said about the Keshi issue, it's not a leadership thing. First of all, the Super Falcons, that's one team that's been neglected. We'll find a way to neglect this team. And they have brought more successes to Nigeria than even our male folk. If you look at the quality of opposition in our group, we have US, we have Sweden, we have Australia. These are teams that have done exceptionally well in the past. US are two-time champions. We have Sweden, who finished second and third. In fact, the last competition, they finished third. We have Australia, who's a growing power in female football. And yet, we are taking them for granted. And this is exactly the kind of thing that happened that made the Super Falcons lose the Women's Nations Cup to Equatorial Guinea before we bounce back. And we're beginning to toy with it again. It's all a leadership thing. Somebody needs to take responsibility of this team. This team should have been in camp since. This team is the pride of Nigerian
You
football.
can say that again.
Forget what the male team folks have been doing.
Undisputed African champions, dominant.
Yes, and again, like we always do, they will go to the World Cup and we will fumble again.
And then everyone will start saying, look it's only Africa they can play.
Yes, because we never prepare. We fail to prepare. And when we do that, we are planning to fail, which is exactly what we are seeing now. I think this is not too late. We've got talented players. We've got young upcoming players that can shock the world. We need to put them together and start putting training and camping, or else we just go there and if we pick a point, then we should sing hallelujah.
That's it. That's the case for the Super Falcons and Nigeria as a country, because if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And that's what's just going to happen to the Super Falcons unless the National Sports Commission and the Nigerian Football Federation step up, look at those ladies and see ways they can help them improve. Because each time I speak to a member of the Super Falcons team, I can feel their passion. You will see the hunger in their faces that they want to play football. Not just play football, but represent this country and keep, getting glory for the country. And that's not the case at the moment, because that team has just been abandoned. 113 more days to the kickoff of the FIFA Women's World Cup. That's the big stage for women's football. And nothing, absolutely nothing, have been heard about the Super Falcons. That's not a good story. We want that to change. We're waiting to hear from the NSC and the Nigerian Football Federation. Let's talk about table tennis now. That's one sport that has been putting smiles on our faces from last year till up to this time, because Aruna Quadri, a Nigerian, is the best table tennis player in Africa. And today, as we await the start of the Kuwait Open in one of the International Table Tennis World Tour, Aruna Quadri will feature. And that's him taking on Zhang Jike and Chuka. The Chinese, they are good, but yes, Aruna Quadri is showing signs that it can be better.
Yes, if you look at the big Chinese four, like we see on the screen, Zhang Jike, we have Zhu Xin, the world's number one. We have Fan Zhendong. He's played all of them. In fact, he's beaten Zhu Xin. He's beaten
at the World Cup.
Yeah, he's beaten Fan Zhendong, and you can't write him off. You never can tell what's going to happen. Aruna Quadri is a fantastic player, a good ambassador for Nigeria when it comes to table tennis, and he's been flying the flag in Africa, in the world. Last year, he was voted International Table Tennis Player of the Year. It shows how far he has gone. And in his base in Portugal, we've seen the wonderful things he has been
even
doing.
winning the Portuguese Cup with his club.
Yes, elevating his club. And he's our brightest hope in this competition. Will he win the $300,000?
Big question.
It's a big question. He may not. But I'm sure, absolutely sure that Aaron Akadi will make a big splash in this one.
That's it. We totally believe, and we can only stand by our Nigerian friend, brother, and all of that Quadri is doing for Africa. We're talking about table tennis as it gets ready for the Kuwait Open Sports this morning on Channels Television. Let's go on a break now. Take a breather. When we come back, if you have a will to succeed, then you must have a Willian in your team. That's the story when Chelsea took on Everton. We'll talk about it when we return. Stay.
Chelsea now against 10. Fabregas with the free kick. Howard has chosen to come once more, and to good effect. Lashed back in by Willian! 89 minutes! That's what champions are made of! If they win it, that's the sort of reason why.
That's the story. That's how it ended. Crucial 89th minute goal scored for Chelsea by Willian. I told you if you have a will to succeed, then you must have a Willian in your team. That goal is worth more than the EPL title to Jose Mourinho. So it ended Chelsea 1, Everton 0. So Chelsea keeps the lead on top of the English Premier League table. And Chuka, as it is, when Mourinho is in this type of position, it is difficult to knock him off.
Yeah, quite difficult. The good thing is it keeps that 7 points gap between Chelsea and Manchester City. Gives Man City a big hurdle to cross. But you can see that game, Chelsea really struggled. They fought hard, but like you said, there was a will, and they got it at the dying minutes. But the thing about Chelsea is that they've shown character over the season.
That's the word.
And that's a Mourinho hallmark. Over the years, he's managed to imbue in his team the ability to keep fighting on. They show character, they fight till the end. And somehow they are able to pull their chestnuts out of the fire. And they did that again against Everton last night.
The game on your screen is the one between Manchester United and Burnley. And surprise, surprise, it was a tale of Chris Smalling getting a double in that one to actually take Manchester United to third on the EPL table. I told you yesterday that after games that will be played last night, the table will change. And that's what it is, because at the moment, Chelsea, they're still on top. Manchester City second. Manchester United are now third. Southampton has dropped because they couldn't win that game. They played a draw. And then Arsenal fifth on the table. And then Tottenham, they're sixth on the table. So that's it. The English Premier League, it keeps getting interesting. And at this point, you know, anything can happen, except for Jose Mourinho wouldn't want to think about that. So Chico, finally, just in your words, because this weekend we are playing the FA Cup games. After that, what should we expect in APL?
Of course, I expect the Chelsea juggernaut to continue to roll on. They will be at Stamford Bridge at the 21st of February against Burnley. That it should be 3 points for them. Man City will have a difficult game at home to Newcastle. That's it's a tight game. Expectedly, if Man City don't up their game, because they've always been topsy-turvy this season, blowing hot and cold, they may drop points there, but one doesn't expect them to drop points. Other games, the big games that we have come upper weekends, we have Southampton playing Liverpool. That's a tight one. Southampton cannot afford to drop more points because they have Spurs and they have Arsenal breathing down their necks. I just expect an exciting February 21 weekend in the EPL.
That's it. Jose Mourinho is staying optimistic. He says he wants to win the league in 2 months. We're in February, March, April. He wants to get it done in April. Chuka, I must thank you for coming on the program.
It's been a pleasure as usual.
So that's it. That's where the curtain falls on this edition of Sports this morning on Channels Television. Action-packed world of sports. There's still so much to talk about. We'll leave the studio and we'll be very active on our social media platforms. On Twitter, it's Channels_sports, and on Facebook, or Channels-sports. That's that's it on behalf of the ever-reliable sports team at Channels Television Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Austin Okonakwan. I keep telling you, in sports, we play to win. So in everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.